Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the IVEJM conference, Enter the Brazilian Market. Today with us we have Mr. Sergio Costa, a professional from Brazil. He was the director of Invest Sao Paulo for many years and brought over 200 companies into the federal state. We're very happy to have him with us today and are looking forward to his lecture. Before I give him the word, I would just like to say a few words about IVEJM. IVEJM is an international institute that's trying to connect Europe and South America through business culture and the exchange of knowledge. In our business sector, we're trying to connect companies with professionals that can help them access their respective markets. In Brazil, that's Mr. Costa. We're also present in Paraguay, Uruguay, and are hoping to enter into Argentina soon. Before I give the word to Mr. Costa, I'd just like to pass the word to Ms. Matea Perošek from Slobraz and let her introduce herself and tell a little bit about what Slobraz can offer to Slovene companies.
Thank you, Anjesh Tupar and IVEJM for welcoming me to present Slobraz in your webinar on entering Brazilian market. My name is Matea Perošek, a Slovenian who's been living in Brazil for more than 16 years now. My role in Chamber of Commerce of Slovenia and Brazil with the initials Slobraz, which was founded in 2015 as an independent non-profit organization on the initiative of Slovenian entrepreneurs and the diaspora in Brazil. As a consultant, I promote economic cooperation between the companies in Brazil and Slovenia, mutual assistance of members in doing businesses and entering foreign markets. Slobraz is the main agent of economic and commercial cooperation between Slovenia and Brazil, along, of course, with Embassy of Republic Slovenia in Brasilia and Slovenian Global Business Network. Businesses internalization proves that can be a complex process that requires a long duration, demanding perseverance and professionalism to achieve results. The experience and local presence, quantity and quality of formation, and Slobraz's network of contacts in both countries can facilitate this process, such as providing all the information and advice to companies looking to enter the Brazilian market. So please feel free to refer them to us. To this end, we carry out the following main activities, among others, promotion of international trade and investment, providing support and identifying business opportunities and establishing partnerships, organization of business delegations, forums, fairs, and webinars for knowledge exchange and networking. We co-create a business culture, provide also information and advise small and medium-sized companies, Slovenian companies that decide to enter the market in which we operate. Regularly Slobraz informs Slovenian companies and institutions about changes in the business market in which we operate. We also collaborate with many organizations, associations, and national unions aiming to promote good work and achievement of its objectives. Provide also business information along with the Izvozna Okno portal of export window of Spirit Slovenia Business Development Agency that belongs to Ministry of Economy, Tourism and Sports. We also assist our members so that they can achieve the objective mentioned. Establishing partnership with potential business partners of public or private law, with partners as your great guest and the member of Slobraz, Mr. Sergio Costa from Strings, who will present after me. And now I'd like to present you Slobraz interactive map that supports Slovenian businesses and products in Brazil. Was created by Slobraz and Slovenian Embassy in Brasilia with the support of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Is actually a virtual platform that facilitates the search for Slovenian products and services in Brazil. So let me share quickly here for you to have a little better picture. We have it in this business map, Slovenian business map and products in Brazil. We have it in 3 languages, in Slovene languages, in Portuguese and English. It's divided by section. So, for instance, we have a food section and We can choose from organic, all the products, all the companies, Slovenian companies that work with different products, wines and food in Brazil. So if we click on one of the companies, we see all the information that we can get from this company. So we have from food to tourism, gastronomy, healthcare, industry, agribusiness, institutional. So for instance, if you're looking for wine producers, or which are established in Brazil, or different distributors who distribute the wines, Slovenian wines in Brazil, you can check them on the map and you can see where you can buy the wines and consume them. So now so this is more about this pioneering project, and the aim is to actually expand it to other countries, reached by the Slovenian diaspora with the help of Slovenian Global Business Network. And also the idea of this map of Slovenian business and products is not only to help the search for products and services from Slovenia, but also to generate publicity and promotion of Slovenian Brazilian enterprises, just by providing an increase in their visibility, real earnings and growth in exports. We'd like to take this opportunity to invite Slovenian Brazilian companies and entrepreneurs who want to advertise their services and products on this interactive map. Anyone interested can contact Slobraz by just mailing us on info@slobraz.com. Thank you once again for having me, and wish you a great success.
And to as a route to the Pacific, if you will. And in the Midwest, where you have the largest crops of soybeans and cattle raising in Brazil, you have the state of Goiás, which is also very industrial oriented. But your location will depend highly on what your business strategy is, on what your business offers, and mostly also on what your business needs. Do you need supply chain nearby you? Do you need logistics? What kind of logistics? Do you need qualified workforce to work with you? Do you need peer companies which are really tech oriented or not? I don't know. These are questions that you have to address. It depends on where your market is. That's why I have put population distribution here, because it's a main driver for many companies. It depends on how digital your business is to see what communications infrastructure you need. Will you need data centers nearby? Okay, they're mostly concentrated in the southeast region, but you also have data centers in other parts of Brazil as well. And mostly your business, your location will also need to find the best or better business environment in Brazil to be there, plus tax breaks. But regarding tax breaks, I want to make sure that you do not follow just the tax breaks by themselves, because sometimes they I say that tax breaks are like a cherry you put on top of a cake, and if that cake, that cherry grows so much because of tax breaks, it's just government inflating the cherry. All of a sudden, it's going to become like a watermelon on top of a muffin or a cupcake. It's not going to sustain itself. It's going to collapse. So beware of tax breaks, because they might be halting you from seeing lack of infrastructure or lack of qualified workforce, this kind of stuff. So tax breaks are usually used as a way to compensate something that the state cannot give you. In some other ways, no. Sometimes in some other situations, tax breaks are just a public policy that governments at all levels have agreed upon to boost the coming of a strategic type of business to Brazil. So keep your eyes open about that too. Next, please. Just for you to have an idea on how important the southeast part of Brazil is, it concentrates the largest amount of industries in Brazil, from food production to aerospace and defense. So if your company depends on suppliers from any of those companies, it's likely that you're going to select the southeast part of Brazil. But again, I'm not telling you to go to the southeast. You have to keep your eyes open and assess every region to find the most proper and suitable location to you. If you need vehicles, if you need electrical machines, if you need rubber, if you need paper, I mean, pharmaceuticals, if you need chemicals, all of those are mostly concentrated in the southeast part of Brazil. So it's more likely that you will find qualified workforce. You will find universities and the academia working to provide research and development to meet the needs of those industries here in the southeast region. Next, please. And so why target Brazil for investments? You know, I have put these big numbers. I will not go through all of them, but this is for your further reference. But you know, more of the world's largest 2,000 companies in Brazil. You know, we have more companies here than the rest of Latam combined. We have over 1 million agribusiness companies. It's the third highest number in the world. It's more than the rest of Latin America combined. 250,000 software and IT companies. So sometimes it's important. If you're a software company, you probably will find very good suppliers or business partners in Brazil to reach out for third markets. This is well, another strategy. 13,000 startups, 21 unicorns with at over $1 billion valuation each. So it's a surprising country with all those numbers regarding chemical companies, machinery companies, medical devices, more than 10,000 manufacturing companies. It's the sixth highest number in the world. So again, see these numbers and think, where is my business strategy affected by these numbers? Are they contributing? Are they risks, threats, or opportunities to my business if I consider entering Brazil? And if you are on renewable energy, for example, we have the third highest renewable energy capacity in the world. And it's very important to consider that, because don't make your decisions based just upon what, you know, on the news. You have to conduct research to understand the numbers from Brazil and make your conclusions by yourself, and speak to the Slovenian community in Brazil, get their feedback. And that's why I love working with IVEJM and with Slobraz, because together we can bring different views of the same issue. And then you can feel safer, more secure about the next step you're going to take. Next, Angela, please. And so continuing, what opportunities wait for you? Maybe you're going to find your business sector, your business industry here, but if you do not mind, don't take for granted that there is no opportunity for you. That's not what I'm saying. So we have huge demand for healthcare and pharma, and if you combine those with telemedicine and functional cosmetics, like bio cosmetics and this kind of stuff, this is having a huge demand from Brazilians. And even during the pandemics, you know, cosmetics is always a two-digit growth company for decades now. So Brazilians take good care of themselves, and there's also a psychological aspect in that. You want to look good, you want to feel good with yourself, so you take good care of yourself. Machinery, metallurgy, equipment, always there's a demand for that. Food and beverages, you know, there's increasing consumption of wine, fine foods, but also functional foods, the probiotics, that kind of thing, that, you know, food that has another function, that just other nurturing your body, but also adding other benefits as you consume that. Vegan food is expanding tremendously in Brazil. And it's an amazing, if you come to Brazil, visit the supermarkets, you're going to be surprised to see the largest variety of products, from milk made out of almonds or cashew nuts with different flavors. I mean, it's amazing. You got to see it by yourself. If you are a tech company, you are mostly welcome. Remember, I spoke at the beginning, Brazilians are early adopters of technology. So if your technology, whether this is in the agri-tech, aerospace, fintech, or in the educational side of it, if you have technology embarked on your solution, you might be part of something that will address an issue that Brazilian companies need. So there might be a very good niche for you. If you are dealing with clean technologies and anything that goes with renewable energy, you saw from the previous slide, a very clean energy matrix, it's always welcome. And governments are always encouraging companies to, go on to the renewable side of energy. Media and digital services. You can use Brazil as a platform to export services as well. Beautiful locations to make your digital videos and all that stuff. It's really good. IT infrastructure, including data center, is booming in Brazil. In March, on March the 1st, I was on the groundbreaking ceremony of one of my customers. It's a data center company from the US. They announced that it's a $3 billion investment in the largest data center in the Southern Hemisphere, being built nearby São Paulo in the city named Paulínia. And everything that comes to support cloud-based services is booming in Brazil. So, remember, we are very digital and we are very mobile people here in Brazil. So it requires IT infrastructure, mainly data centers, allowing you to have everything you need on demand, including, how you commute from one place to another and so on. Hospitality. I'm helping one of my customers build a boutique hotel nearby the city of São Paulo. So it's amazing to see that hospitality is booming. As the pandemics have gone, there is an opportunity for reshaping or restricting old hospitals, upgrading them, not hospitals, hotels, upgrading them and offering guest services at a higher level than it was before. And obviously, if you are a startup, you're mostly welcome. And there are lots of environments supporting startups to, to have a soft landing. For example, my office is in a co-working space, and you have numbers of startups joining here, bringing solutions and connecting. It's really beautiful to see how investors, the academia, and all the support systems are working together as the ecosystem to support startups. And this is beautiful to see how it goes. But remember, nowadays startups are more down to earth. Not everyone starts thinking that they will be the unicorn tomorrow, but they know that it comes out of hard working and really delivering solutions that address problems and that are scalable a long time. Next, please. And lots of opportunities, my goodness. Electric vehicles, we're seeing all over the world the electrification of the fleet, and Brazil is not outside that, but still we have, because of the sugarcane ethanol, which propels most of our cars. Toyota, for example, created the hybrid flex fuel engines. So this means that it combines the availability of renewable sources of fuels with the batteries. So it's something that's coming in, but we have Great Wall Motors from China coming here to produce electric cars, BYD from China as well. Tesla is not talking about anything else. I haven't heard from them. But let's see how it goes. But it's important if you produce spare parts or parts to electric vehicles. Agriculture is always demanding because Brazil is a large producer of many items that most Europeans consume. but we have increased production without increasing the size of the land, cultivated area. How did we do that? With technology and focusing on sustainability. If you are dealing with forestry, carbon credits, everything you do must be linked to sustainability because it's a prerequisite. Most investments are coming to Brazil targeting the Sustainable Development Goals and ESG. So everything is aligned, and sustainability has to be there also with your social responsibility and environmental responsibility along. If you provide solutions to water conservation, management, and treatment, be mostly welcome. Recently, Brazil has approved regulatory marks or frameworks within which many public treatment companies are being privatized, and there are targets to bring treated water to 100% of the population. And remember, the whole Europe fits in within the Brazilian map. So it's not a small deal, it's a big deal, and you have to overcome bureaucracy, technical requirements, and so on. Defense, very important. Slovenia, with the support of the Slovenian embassy, with the support of Slobraz, signed last week, I mean, it was on April the 11th, a defense cooperation agreement between Slovenia and Brazil. So keep your eyes open to see what opportunities will arise from or will come up from that agreement. What opportunities or doors are open for Slovenian companies, taking into account the agreement that both countries have signed. So this is very fresh news to you from April 11th. So make sure you keep your eyes open on that. Financial services. Brazil, São Paulo state is the largest financial center in Latin America. So why not be here and provide solutions to the big centers? And keeping in mind that if your solution is adopted by the Brazilian side of one big financial company, global company here in São Paulo, it can be spread all over the organization worldwide. Infrastructure is there also opportunity if you are an engineering company offering services, because you have to take advantage of the public-private partnerships and concessions. Logistics, if you combine logistics with mobility and smart cities on how to better manage your fleet, be my guest. Remember, we are huge consumers of things we buy over the internet. So someone has to bring the product from the distribution center to my house or to my office. So logistics is there, but not just for the sake of it, but it has to be efficient, has to be sustainable, has to be profitable. So if you bring solutions to that, you have an opportunity here. And considering M&As as an opportunity, taking into account the favorable exchange rate, I mentioned that, but it may be a market entry strategy. Next, please, and I'm moving fast to the end. My suggestions to you when considering Brazil: plan. Then plan a lot. If you think your first plan was good, review it, plan again, check your assumptions, design your strategy carefully, and implement it step by step. Learn about the country. Brazil is a beautiful country, not because I'm Brazilian, I'm saying that, but I love Brazil. I love Slovenia. I love many countries I have been to, but it's learn about the country before you decide. Learn about the culture. Learn about, the holidays we have. How do they impact the business activities? Learn about the business environment. See what the standards are. If you are an electrical equipment manufacturing company, see the standards that you have to comply with. Check the regulations, and most importantly, see what taxes would imply in your imports. If you will decide to start with a local distributor, you will import your goods to Brazil. What taxes will be put on your price, and will it make you a strong player in the market, or will it just cast you out of the business when entering Brazil? Very important to consider. You may wish to find a local partner who can validate your assumptions. And you can browse the Slobraz interactive map, or you can talk to IVEJM. IVEJM has a huge experience doing business in Latin America. You can ask them, well, what was your experience doing business in Brazil or doing business in Paraguay? About IVEJM, you know, some companies are using Paraguay as a platform to reach Brazil. It's interesting because Paraguay has the maquilas and other structures that are becoming really interesting for us to consider. But I'm not going to do a lot of propaganda for Paraguay today. Let's talk about Brazil. But I'm bringing you the situation as it is. If I were you, I would check all the possibilities. And you will obviously need support. And I can speak for myself. Obviously, I can speak for IVEJM and for Slobraz. You can count on us for anything, to support you in gathering information. And obviously, you have a very dynamic, very proactive Slovenian embassy in Brazilio. You know, they are top notch. If I were Slovenian, I would be proud of the ambassador that you have in Brazilio, Mr. Rence, and I think I'm speaking correctly, Rencelli. So it's a great ambassador. You know, you will need, when considering Brazil, if you're a software company, for example, you will need to provide local support. And you will need to have a local help desk. And you will need to customize your software or your solution or your flyers, the owner's handbook, whatever you have. You will need to customize that to meet the market needs. And most importantly, language. Don't come up to Brazil with Spanish. Don't come to Brazil with English. You have to make sure that all your information is in Portuguese. Just for the start, okay, Brazilians will say, oh, I can manage it here. But it's important to have everything in Portuguese. That's my suggestion for you to consider. And if joint ventures and mergers and acquisitions are a possibility, please carefully select your target companies. I know that Brazil might sound cheap or cheaper for you to come in because of the euro exchange rate if compared to the Brazilian real, but it's not because it's cheap that you should not take proper care when targeting companies you would like to purchase or to establish a joint venture or to cooperate with. And a very important message here. Your success in other markets does not guarantee your success in Brazil. I have been so many companies which I supported at the time they were already lost in their opportunity. They said, well, we took for granted that our success in Asia would be enough, or we took for granted that our success in Mexico would be enough to succeed our entry in Brazil. I was considering that our success in Chile or Argentina would be enough because Brazil is close to those countries. But actually, it does not guarantee. I'm successful in Europe, so I'm going to succeed in Brazil. I wish you will succeed. And we are here as a support system to you to maximize your chances to succeed in Brazil. But again, take proper care. It's your business. It's your logo. It's your history. It's your life. It's your business that is at stake here. But again, many, many companies which have gone through all the steps, gather information, they were secure enough to take the next step to enter Brazil and to start operating here. And they're having huge success. Is it easy? Not always. But once they get to know the market, they say, this is an amazing opportunity we have in Brazil. And we have companies which have been operating in Brazil for more than 100 years. And they have survived governments, they have survived changes, and they have learned their way in Brazil. Next, please. And my conclusions. Foreign companies, they continue investing in Brazil, and I am working hard to bring more Slovenian companies to Brazil because I want to see our exchange, our inflows of FDI coming from Slovenia increasing, and Brazil, it is an opportunity and cannot be neglected. Don't look at the problems, look at the opportunities, but let's be realistic about the difficulties you might have to overcome, and let's address them. As in any new market you're coming in, you will have to address and you have to adapt yourself to that changes. The real, Brazilian real devaluation makes it cheaper for foreign investors, but remember, it's cheap, but it's not something that should allow you to not to consider what has to be considered when going into JVs or M&A. Targeting a high volume of density, population density can be a good strategy, but again, it depends on what you need, what your strategy is, what the logistics are, and so on. And entering this market does need preparation and local support. And that's why we are working together here, Strings, IVEJM, and we have Slobraz, we have the embassy that certainly can support all of us in reducing the risks. And finally, I always tell investors, there is no time for oops investment. Oops, too late. You have made mistakes, you have lost money, you have put your business in danger. But again, make sure you assess the market, and we can support you with market research and all that kind of stuff, information that can support your decision-making process, so that every step you take, you look to the past and say, this was the right decision. Brazil is surprising me as a market, and I'm happy that I have made this decision. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next please. That's the final slide with our contact info. Oh, I'm sorry, that was the flag of Slovenia and Brazil between Voila, and it's a great honor for me to join you today. Thank you so much.